Okay, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And before we get the video started, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a detail where the channel is heading. As you already saw, I've done a lot of testing already on T-Mobile, Cricket, and Sprint. So now, as I announced last night, as of this upcoming Tuesday, I will be testing Verizon Postpaid. I have that coming up. I've kind of shied away from T-Mobile a bit in this market. They're having a lot of trouble currently. I don't know what it is. I had an emergency about a week ago. I wasn't able to get a call, and I wasn't able to call out. So I don't know what the deal is there. The local network team was supposed to reach out to me. They haven't called me yet. So I'm gonna have to stay away from them for a little while until they can get this figured out, and I can get some more information on what the solution will be here in the future, and also with the slower speeds as well. So, and also, I'm gonna get into the gaming. As you saw in my videos, the Xbox One S is here. I got the PS4 Pro coming. So also at the 250 subscriber count, stay tuned for the giveaway. Follow at TechLife32 on Instagram. I will leave it in the description down below for more details on that giveaway as we get closer to the 250. I probably won't hit it by Christmas, but sometime next month I'll be at I should be at the 250. Alrighty, so also I have a TV review coming of the Samsung KS Series 8000, I believe. I will have the correct model number once the TV gets here. It's the 65-inch. So I have that coming up as well. So just wanted to let you guys know where the channel's heading. I'm trying to expand bigger. Channel's not big enough yet to do any partnerships. So definitely bear with me, and I'm working on it. So definitely support. Alrighty, so on today's video. Sorry about that. I have a lot of information to share and some points to make, and of course, most of it is my opinion. So get interactive. So this is news. Some people knew it, some people don't. So yesterday, John Saw was speaking at I want to say a technology conference, and you know they weren't being around the bush. They went right to the network. I've read the transcript. This right here is more of a summary of it. It wasn't too detailed. It was pretty much everything that was asked was being pushed off to next week, and in a couple of weeks we're going to announce the third carrier aggregation, and we're going to open it up from 40 to 60 megahertz. So I made my own little summary here. So and I hope Sprint is not deviating off the course, but the way he was speaking, he thinks that he could have a similar approach as AT&T does currently. AT&T is lacking density, so they're just throwing spectrum on top of spectrum on top of spectrum to make up for the lack of density and still have a decent amount of speeds for the subscribers and the customers. In a way, he's correct because he has the most spectrum with the band 41. So he can open it up all the way to 100 megahertz in most markets. That's 5 carriers on band 41. Now, with that said, and I'm going to quote him because he said it. He said, so when you have a lot of spectrum as a carrier, you have the flexibility to actually keep adding capacity via adding more spectrum. That's what AT&T is doing. If you don't have that, then you have to resort to a more expensive means. This is what Verizon's doing, adding towers, doing cell splits, adding small cells. And he says, in this case, Sprint with our spectrum, we can add capacity all day long at the cell site. So, this is what he said. As you can see, he's quoted saying this. So first of all, you can't really say that. I hope he was being sarcastic, because you have to wait for the phone manufacturers to enable this technology. A lot of phones can't support 4, 5, or 6 carrier aggregation yet. So 3 carrier aggregation is the technology that's being rolled out. A lot of cell phones don't even have that enabled yet. Do they support it? Yes, but it has to be enabled via a software upgrade. So I don't know what he's trying to tell us here. I don't know if are they still going with small cells, or are they just going to start throwing spectrum on top of spectrum on top of spectrum? I hope he does go with small cells, because small cells is much, much, much better, and I'm going to tell you guys why here in a minute. So with Sprint, as you see by the title, our spectrum is dedicated for small cells. In other words, is what this title is saying. So what he is saying, that Sprint small cells use dedicated spectrum, and the small cell site and the macro site, they don't share the same channel, so thereby it'll avoid interference. So this is really good. So this could be, when you have this much spectrum, like he said, you are really, 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 really flexible in that department. And if they continue with the small cell rollout and really finish this plan, this network is going to be something we've never seen before. Just their LTE Plus as it is right now could already be considered 5G, since we don't have a standard for 5G yet. This network could be it. But he's talking like, you know what? We're just going to start throwing spectrum on top of spectrum to alleviate capacity, which they do have capacity issues in my market, but Band 41's coming. So we're gonna test that and see how speeds are when this comes. But this is what I mean by density once again, as I showed you guys in the last video. This is the current spectrum breakdown that's dedicated from each carrier to their downlink, which is download. So currently Verizon is running at 25 megahertz. So they have band 4 at 15, band 13 at 10, so that's 25 megahertz. And then I'm going to tell you guys the respective average download speeds here. So next we have T-Mobile, which they are at 40 megahertz for the downlink. So they're running band 4 at 20, band 2 at 15, and band 12 at 5. So that's already 3 carrier aggregation enabled. All right. AT&T is doing 35 megahertz. It's band 2 15, band 12 10, and band 4 at 10 also. And then Sprint is doing 5 megahertz. So now we're going to break down average speeds for the carriers. So Verizon averages in El Paso 24 megabits per second. T-Mobile does 9 megabits per second. AT&T is at 16 megabits. And Sprint is at 0.9 megabits. So as you can see, Verizon with the lowest megahertz other than Sprint is running the fastest average speed here in El Paso. Verizon tower placing is really good, and they're adding a lot more macro sites. Just this year alone, as of January 4th until today, they've added, they're planning to add 8 more macro sites to this area, city. and that means it's just going to get denser and denser and denser, and then small cells are coming. I'm also seeing more dark fiber installs. I mean, Verizon's network is gonna take off here. So I just wanted to show you guys, tell you guys that you don't have to have crazy amounts of spectrum dedicated to LTE download to achieve good speeds. With Sprint's 60 megahertz on band 41, in most markets, they will be able to achieve great speeds because they're adding adequate spectrum, as he was talking about. But, is that going to be able to sustain and hold up once you move away from the tower site further and further? Do you have to be close to the tower? Like, as you all know, propagation is not really good on band 41. It's a higher frequency, so it doesn't travel as well as, of course, 700 megahertz, 800 megahertz. Even the mid band, sometimes it doesn't travel as well. So that's when these small cells would kick in and take over and really help out the signal and the capacity as well. So this is definitely, something that, if you guys could, leave some comments in the comment section down below on your thoughts. This video is kind of longer. I really wanted to get down to the detail with this. In most markets with this strategy, Sprint is going to move up. They're going to move up in the rankings on root metrics, open signal, and other third-party testing firms. So, as we all know, Sprint's market share is not as big as a Verizon, as a AT&T yet. So certain markets that are getting this third carrier added on, speeds are going to shoot through the roof. I don't have an example right now, but certain markets, their market share is not that big. Like here in El Paso, if they right now in El Paso, the way their market share sits, from what I've heard from the market manager, if they had the third carrier enabled at 60 megahertz, the way the towers are, no new towers, no small cells, I personally believe Sprint would be averaging around, and I'm just being honest here, their average speeds would be between 70 and 90 megabits per second here. And then I'm just telling the truth. I mean, we would even during peak hours, we would probably see peak speeds, honestly. Because 60 megahertz, that's a lot of spectrum. As you heard earlier, nobody here is even close to 60. T-Mobile is the highest at 40 megahertz, and they have the slowest speeds other than Sprint. So if Sprint were to, and I hope they do this once they install band 41 next year, I hope it goes live with the third carrier already enabled. And then we're going to see what Sprint can really do. Now, just based on that fact, imagine with small cells added, with that small cell having their own dedicated spectrum that doesn't interfere with the macro site. I'm just saying that to me that's going to be a very crazy network. If they get a hold of some money, some big money from this SoftBank deal, Sprint is going to be very dangerous, and they're being very quiet still on their rollout. They're not really talking about it like they were in the past. They're touching up on it, but as you can see, they're being real quiet behind the scenes, and they're working. Not where they want to be, and not where they need to be. Coverage is still an issue, but they are trying to get the main bigger markets situated, and they're doing some great progress there. So definitely just wanted to go more into detail with this. Give this video a thumbs up. I hope you liked all the info. I got some more stuff coming. Tomorrow is Friday, so that'll be the last day for the weekend. If I got anything big popping up, if the Verizon phone drops in a little earlier, You might see a video this weekend. But other than that, I will see you guys on the videos tomorrow. I got something special planned tomorrow as well. Leave all the comments down below. You know, like, share, and subscribe. Sorry that the video was a little longer. Like I said, sometimes detail requires a longer video. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.